مرحبا بكم. الاسطورة تيري هنري سألوه قالوا له وش رايك في النهائي المثير للجدل كأس افريقيا 2025 بالمغرب. قال لهم قبل ما نحكي لكم على هذا النهائي نروح لكم شوية بعيد. قال لهم اللي كان بلومي واللي كان ايطو واللي كان دروغبا واللي كنت صح نستمتع يعني بكرة القدم، ولكن قال لهم حاليا ما دام التحكيم الفاسد في افريقيا، قال لهم المفروض يعني عطى لهم حوصلة، قال لهم نبعثوا لهم ناس يقروهم على الأقل يقروهم شوية. معليش نخلوه هو يحكي لكم ومن بعدها لنا عودة.
Before we move on with this match day, we do want to just spend a little time talking about Sunday's Africa Cup of Nations final. It was controversial, there were chaotic scenes, a missed Panenka, and ultimately then Senegal beating Morocco in extra time. There's so many different aspects of that game to discuss because it was crazy, Thierry, but how do you reflect on the final?
First and foremost, I want to give you a little background with me and the African Cup of Nations, and I will come obviously to what happened to the tournament and the final. So I started to watch the African Cup of Nations in '88, and he was actually in Morocco. That one was in Morocco. I think Cameroon won it against Nigeria in the final. Some names you will remember. Roger Milla was playing in that team. Joseph Antoine Bell. Exactly. But some I grew up watching it because where I'm from, in my neighborhood, that's how it was. You watch the African Cup of Nations. You know, some guys will talk about Lagdar Belloumi, that was a very famous player in Algeria. You will have a guy like Abdoulaye Traoré. You know, his nickname is Ben Badi for the Ivory Coast. And then I can mention the guys also that came to play in Europe, Didier Drogba, Samuel Eto'o, JJ Okocha and whatnot. That was always, for me, a tournament that I enjoyed to watch because you could see skills, great teams, and a good tournament. Really, that's my view, that's my opinion. I just wanted to say that because it's important. So I watched it. I watch also this competition. I will always watch it. So to go back to the final and the competition, first and foremost, the competition was outstanding. Outstanding. Morocco did a great job in terms of the infrastructure, the stadium, the hotels were excellent. Now we go to the final. What you saw, the reaction of the team of Senegal wanting to leave the field was wrong. That's not the image that you want to give, not only for African football, for any football. You don't want to do that. Do I understand the frustration of how it happened in the final and what happened just before and then the penalty and whatever it is? This is what I'm talking about. They thought in their eyes that that was a goal scored by Ismail Assar, and then after the penalty goes obviously on Brahim Diaz. So what I'm trying to say right now is that happened in a very quick moment. Okay, very, very, very quick. Some of the guys, obviously, you can see the coach was like, we need to go inside. Sadio Mane called them back. Brahim Diaz obviously misses it, trying to do a Panenka. Then we all know that Senegal goes on to win it with Pape Gueye. But what I'm trying to say is, that's not what you want to see. You can see the goal of Pape Gueye now. What a finish. And Senegal, and obviously it's nice to see Sadio Mane winning it and finishing with an AFCON trophy when he said he was going to stop. But I want to go back to a point here, which is very important. For me, I'm going to go back because I want to say it again. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see a team leaving the field. Do I understand the frustration? Yes. The way they went about it? No. And for me, that's not going to define how the tournament was. Only thing that I will say, though, watching the AFCON for a very long time, the referees are not at the level of the show. All the stuff that happened in those tournaments sometimes are made because of referee mistakes. And I'm not blaming the referee. I'm blaming the people that are not training them to be at the level of the football that we're watching. And that's about it. Other than that, like I said so many times, it was a great tournament. It became a tiny bit more interesting from the quarterfinals, okay? But I will always watch the African Cup of Nations. That is not what you want to see, but I personally won't stay on what I saw at the very end because the tournament was good. And the celebration of Senegal, it's nice to see Sadio Mane again finishing like that. and you know, as you, I know you want to say maybe something about Sadio Mane and
listen,
what he has achieved in his career.
Yeah, he's had an amazing career, isn't he? And obviously, what the situation that happened in the final as well. Obviously, bringing his teammates back on. You see him spoken to El Hadji Diouf there, but you mentioned about the referees there. Could there not be a case where you actually bring some of the top European referees?
I understand. No, it has to be. You have to give African referees a chance. It is an African tournament. It has to be African referees. I'm talking about sending someone, or I don't know, to put them to a certain level, because you can see there is mistake and more mistakes all the time, and it does tarnish a bit the tournament. And people always blame, you know, the tournament. It's not the tournament's fault. It's not the players' fault. It's not the team's fault. It is something that I think needs to change in order to have a better tournament. The referees.
شفت يا سي لقجع، يعني تم تتمسخر وتدير في الحكام الفاسدين وتاع الرشوة، والحكام اللي ملاح حطيتهم اكوتي وطلعت غير الفاسدين. يعني العالم كامل ولا يشوف في افريقيا باللي عندها حكام فاسدين، وقال لك لازم نبعث لكم ناس تقريكم، وعندهم حق، لانك يعني هذه هي النتيجة اللي حصدناها. يعني هذا الحصاد اللي حصدناه من كأس افريقيا للأمم 2025، يعني برعاية لقجع. طلع الناس قاع فاسدة وطلعنا قاع فاسدين، ولا اوروبا جو قرونا وما عندهم الحق. هذه النتيجة، والسلام عليكم.